I'm not a fan of the death penalty, and I think it should be abolished. But if it can't be abolished, we can at least do something about it to make it a bit more humane. Yeah, humane. So why not the death penalty? Well, according to the Innocence Project, there have been 337 post-conviction DNA exonerations in the U.S. That's a lot, man. That's a lot of people. 37 states. 20 of these people have spent time on death row, swearing their innocence, proclaiming, come on, guys, I didn't do it. I swear I didn't do it. And then we go back later, look at the DNA. Oh, lo and behold, they actually didn't do it. How about that? That's so weird. Who would have thought? See, apparently there's a lot of imprecise methods used to convict people, things like eyewitness accounts, which are notoriously faulty, things like fingerprints, which are not necessarily super reliable, things like unvalidated or improper scientific, forensic testing. And, of course, you've also got cases where the FBI has intentionally fudged results to secure convictions, which is just horrible. It's just the worst. And then the other thing is, it's actually way more expensive to put someone to death than to keep them alive. Because, you can say, well, it shouldn't cost that much. Well, they get more appeals, they get better representation because their life is on the line, man. So, yeah, it turns out, according to some studies, it's $1 million more to kill someone than to give them life in prison. And, you can look at it a few ways. The idea with the death penalty is it's not a deterrent, because states with death penalties do not have lower capital crime rates. It's, these are crimes of passion, man. Crimes of passion, crimes of addiction. So it's just crazy. It's crazy. And you say, well, it should be cheaper. It should be cheaper. There's no reason it should be dragged out. It shouldn't take 1,000,000 years. Well, okay, but that's not what we're arguing. You didn't ask me, should appeals be cheaper or quicker? The question is, should death penalty be allowed? So if we're going to go that route, and, why wouldn't we? The next problem becomes one of how to put them down. Now, hanging is kind of brutal. It hasn't been used in a while. Lethal injection is all the rage, but we're not very good at that either. It should be really easy to put someone down, but it isn't. And the hardest part is when it comes right down to it. The stuff that works is no longer made in the U.S. because we just don't make stuff anymore. No, we try to import it, but the countries that make it don't have the death penalty, so they won't sell it to us. We can't import it illegally, although that has been tried. So we try different cocktails, things that are unproven, untested, things that should work, but as we've seen in a number of cases, they just don't. So if we're going to put someone down, we got to do it humanely, and I've got the solution. I have it, and I will give it to you momentarily. But before we get to that, the thing is, what we've tried recently is mixes of quaaludes and barbiturates and opiates that just shut the body down, basically like an overdose would. The problem with that is watching it is really hard, because even though the brain is in the process of shutting down, parts of it are still fighting desperately for survival, and you get people gasping for breath and just sucking for every last ounce of air out of the room to try and survive. So what if there was a way to kill someone quickly and painlessly? Firing squad doesn't work because you don't need a firing squad. You only need a firing dude. But dudes don't like shooting people. They don't like killing them. So what they do is there have been instances where a firing squad lines up, everyone takes their aim, fires, guy doesn't even get hit because none of them want to kill him. They try randomizing it and giving some dudes blanks and some dude live rounds so they don't actually know who does the killing. It's just not a natural thing to do. So what do I suggest? I suggest death by rocket sled. It's so fast. It's so painless. Imagine there was a Mythbusters where they fired a rocket sled at a car to see if the car what would happen. Just what would happen. They knew what would happen. The car evaporated. It disintegrated on contact. It was a thing of beauty. So instead of lining the guy up at the wall for the firing squad, line him up for the rocket sled. On the count of 3, 2, 1. All he sees is the rockets fire, something gets slightly bigger, and then he ceases to exist. There's not even any remains to bury. He's just gone. And if you're watching this rather than listening to it, there's a clip playing in the background. You'll get to see the rocket sled do its thing. You got to make it humane. So that's what I propose. If you're going to actually step up and put a man down, do it humanely. Do it with a rocket sled. It's not going to cost much more than it already costs to put someone down. And it's going to be way more entertaining. Way more entertaining. So there you go. Death by rocket sled.